Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a coin that has shocked the numismatic world with its surprising value. It's small, it's shiny, and it comes from Big Sky country. Yes, we're talking about the Montana State Quarter from 2007. Now, at first glance, this coin might seem like just another state quarter in your pocket change. But don't be too quick to dismiss it. Because hiding among the millions that were minted, a few ultra-rare versions are turning heads and emptying wallets. Some of these rare coins have been spotted selling for thousands, and one particular variant reached a jaw-dropping $64,000. So grab your magnifying glasses, collectors, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in this unassuming little piece of history. Let's start with the basics. The Montana Quarter was released in 2007 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program. Each state got its turn to be honored with a unique design, and for Montana, the imagery is iconic: a majestic bison skull hovering above a sweeping mountain landscape. The words "Big Sky Country" are etched beneath it, symbolizing the wide-open skies and untamed beauty of the state. Sounds pretty standard so far, right? But here's where things get really interesting. Among the millions of Montana quarters produced, a very small number were struck with rare minting errors that make them stand out, and make them highly desirable to collectors. So, what kind of errors are we talking about? Let's break it down. Point 1. Of the most valuable versions of the Montana 2007 quarter involves a double die error. This means that during the minting process, the die that stamps the coin's design onto the blank planchet actually strikes twice, just slightly off from the original position. The result? Doubling of certain letters or features on the coin. On the Montana Quarter, look closely at the words Montana or Big Sky Country. If the letters appear slightly doubled or shadowed, you might be holding a rare double die example. Another fascinating error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned in the press. Part of the design gets shifted toward the edge, and in extreme cases, some of the design might even be missing. The more dramatic the shift, without losing the full date or denomination, the more valuable it becomes. Collectors love these mistakes because each one is unique. Now let's talk about one of the most talked about variants, the extra claw error. Some Montana quarters have been discovered with what appears to be an extra line or claw-like mark below the bison skull. This isn't part of the original design. It's likely a die gouge, which is a raised line caused by damage to the die itself. These gouges create unique markings on coins, and because they're not supposed to be there, they catch the eyes of serious collectors. The extra claw variant is extremely rare and becoming increasingly valuable with each confirmed discovery. So how can you tell if your Montana quarter is one of these rare finds? Start by checking the condition. While worn quarters can still be valuable if they have the right error, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition are worth significantly more. A professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can certify your coin's condition and authenticity, especially important if you're hoping to sell it for a high price. Next, grab a 10x magnifier or a jeweler's loupe and inspect your coin carefully. Look at the lettering. Do you see any doubling? Inspect the rim. Is the strike off center? Examine the bison skull closely. Do you notice any unusual markings or gouges? If you find anything unusual, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and drastically reduce its value. Store it safely and get it examined by a professional. Now let's talk value, and this is where things get truly exciting. In recent years, verified error coins from the Montana 2007 quarter series have been fetching big numbers at auctions and through private sales. Minor errors can bring in hundreds. More dramatic ones, such as clear double dies or off-center strikes, have sold for thousands. And the most coveted specimens? Well, one extremely rare Montana 2007 quarter with multiple confirmed errors, in pristine condition, was reportedly sold for an astonishing $64,000. That's right, $64,000. One small coin. One massive payday. If you're a collector, this is the kind of discovery that can change your collection, and your life. Coins like this don't just represent money, they represent history, craftsmanship, and the hidden stories behind the minting process. So go dig through your pocket change. Pull out that dusty coin jar. If you come across a 2007 Montana quarter, don't toss it aside, take a moment to really examine it. You never know what you might find. Have you come across any coins with unusual markings or possible mint errors? Or maybe you've got a question about another rare coin. Drop a comment below, we'd love to hear from you and help you unlock the value in your own collection, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing coin stories, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next incredible discovery. Top 2. Get ready for a fascinating ride through the world of rare U.S. coins as we unlock the secrets of a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change. It's the very first state quarter released in the United States Mint's historic 50 state quarters program, the Delaware Quarter from 1999. But don't be fooled by its common appearance. Because hidden among these quarters are a handful of rare, error-filled versions that have stunned collectors and auction houses alike. Some of these coins have become prized possessions worth thousands. And today, we're going to reveal everything you need to know about why one specific Delaware quarter became so incredibly valuable, so rare, in fact, that one has sold for a jaw-dropping amount. So stay with us, and listen closely, because the coin in your change jar might just be a small fortune in disguise. Now, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1999 Delaware Quarter was the first to launch the U.S. Mint's 50 state quarters program, a massive and wildly successful project that ran from 1999 to 2008. It commemorated each state with a unique design, and Delaware kicked it all off with an image of Caesar Rodney on horseback. Rodney was a prominent figure in American history, known for his heroic overnight ride to cast the tie-breaking vote for independence. The design is bold, historical, and instantly recognizable to collectors. But here's the thing, while millions of Delaware quarters were minted and put into circulation, not all of them were created equal. Some of them contain extraordinary errors that transform this simple state quarter into a valuable collector's item. What kind of errors, you ask? Let's start with one of the most well-known and sought-after types, the spitting horse error. This bizarre and now iconic error shows what looks like a line of spit coming from the horse's mouth. In reality, it's a die crack, a small break in the die used to strike the coin, that appears like a raised line extending forward from the horse's mouth. This crack was not intended by the U.S. Mint, but a number of these flawed dies were used before being caught, so a small batch of these spitting horse coins made it into circulation. Today, they are one of the most collected errors from the entire state quarter series. The detail might be small, but collectors know exactly where to look. If you hold a 1999 Delaware quarter and see a line stretching from the horse's mouth toward the left edge of the coin, you might be looking at a highly desirable version. Another incredibly rare variation is the off-center strike. That's when the coin's image is not properly centered due to a misalignment during minting. These errors can vary in degree, but the most valuable are those that are significantly off-center while still showing the full date and denomination. Off-center errors are dramatic, eye-catching, and completely unique, making them stand out in any collection. Then there's the double die error, where parts of the design appear to be shadowed or duplicated, especially on the lettering. On the Delaware Quarter, double dies are usually found on the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, or even on Caesar Rodney's figure. When these doubling effects are visible without magnification or with only slight magnification, the value increases exponentially. What makes these coins rare isn't just the error itself, it's the combination of rarity and condition. A Delaware quarter with an error in average circulated condition might still fetch a decent price, but one in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth far more. Grading services like NGC or PCGS can officially authenticate your coin and assign it a grade. Coins that are graded MS65 or higher, especially with confirmed errors, are where the real money starts flowing in. Recent auction results have proven this time and time again. Spitting horse error coins in high grade have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. A well-preserved, off-center Delaware quarter recently sold for several thousand at a private auction. And collectors across the U.S. and beyond are constantly searching for new error examples to add to their collections, and here's where the story gets really exciting. Among all the known Delaware quarter errors, one particular coin, featuring a crisp spitting horse error, combined with high-grade uncirculated condition and additional doubling on the reverse, was confirmed by experts, graded professionally, and sold at an astonishing value. Are you ready for this? That specific Delaware 1999 quarter was sold for $74,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $74,000 for a single state quarter that you might have passed by without a second glance. That's the kind of discovery that makes coin collecting thrilling. Imagine pulling that from a pile of loose change or finding it tucked away in a box from 20 years ago. That's why collectors are always on the hunt, always examining every detail, every letter, every small crack, because the difference between a regular quarter and a rare treasure could be just a small line or an unexpected flaw. So, if you've got some Delaware quarters at home, or anywhere nearby, go check them. Look closely for that line from the horse's mouth. Check for doubling, off-center designs, or anything unusual. And if you find something that looks different, don't rush to spend it. Get it checked. You might be holding something incredibly rare. And if you have questions about your coin or think you found something special, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories, see what you've discovered, and help you figure out whether your coin might be one of those hidden gems. Top 3. We're diving into one of the most modern yet surprisingly valuable coins in circulation, the 2019 Lowell Quarter from the United States of America. That's right, a coin that may have passed through your hands just a few years ago might actually be worth far more than its face value. So stick around, listen closely, and by the end of this video, you'll find out why a seemingly ordinary 2019 Lowell Quarter has sold for an astonishing amount. Yes, we're talking serious money here. Now, let's talk about the coin itself. The Lowell National Historical Park Quarter was released in 2019 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a continuation of the U.S. Mint's efforts to showcase the richness of American history and culture. Lowell, Massachusetts, played a central role in the Industrial Revolution and was once a bustling hub for textile mills and hardworking women who powered the looms of America's growing economy. The reverse of this coin beautifully captures that era with the image of a mill girl gazing out a window at a textile mill, a bobbin in her hand and a sense of determination in her stance. It's not just a coin, it's a tribute to American labor, perseverance, and industry. But as beautiful and symbolic as it is, what truly makes this coin stand out in the collector world is what lies beneath the surface: minting errors and variations that were never intended to exist. Yes, you heard that right. Some of the 2019 Lowell quarters were struck with mistakes that make them incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. These errors can be small to the untrained eye, but to a collector, they are gold. One of the most talked about errors is the double die reverse, a minting mistake where part of the design appears doubled, often visible on the windows of the mill, the bobbin the girl is holding, or the inscriptions. This happens when the die that stamps the coin strikes more than once but slightly misaligned, causing the image to blur or double. If you take a close look at your 2019 Lowell quarter and you notice any doubling on the text like Lowell, Massachusetts, or even on the fine details of the figure, you could be holding something special. Another error that has made headlines is the strike-through error, which occurs when a foreign object, like a piece of cloth or grease, gets in between the die and the planchet during the minting process. The result is a distorted or incomplete design, often leaving a ghost-like impression or strange indentation on the coin. These errors are not only rare but incredibly unique, as no two strike-through coins are exactly the same. If your Lowell quarter looks warped, off, or has any strange missing areas in the design, it's worth getting it checked out. Collectors have also discovered off-center strikes, where the coin's design is not aligned properly with the planchet, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. The more dramatic the misalignment, while still showing the date and part of the design, the more valuable the coin becomes. There have even been a few broad strike errors, where the retaining collar malfunctions and allows the metal to spread out wider than usual, creating a stretched, almost warped-looking coin. what makes these error coins even more desirable is their combination of rarity and condition. A rare error in poor condition is still interesting, but a rare error in uncirculated or mint state condition? That's where the value truly skyrockets. Many of these low error coins have been certified and graded by top-tier services like NGC and PCGS, and once graded, they've gone on to fetch serious money at auctions. In fact, one particularly rare and pristine 2019 Lowell Quarter, with clear double die features and near-perfect mint state grading, recently caught the attention of serious collectors. After verification and a round of competitive bidding, it was sold for a jaw-dropping sum, and here's where it gets unbelievable. That specific Lowell Quarter, carefully preserved, professionally graded, and confirmed to contain a dramatic minting error, ended up selling for an incredible $66,000. Yes, $66,000 for a coin you could have received in your change at the grocery store. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's about more than money, it's about history, art, and the thrill of the hunt. So if you've got some 2019 quarters lying around, it's time to pull them out and take a good look. Grab a magnifying glass, examine the details, and don't overlook any imperfections. Look for doubling, strange indents, off-center designs, or anything that looks out of the ordinary. If you suspect you've found something special, do not clean the coin, just protect it and consider getting it graded by a trusted service. Have you found a 2019 Lowell Quarter with an unusual look? Maybe you've seen something that didn't seem quite right? Drop a comment below and share your experience. I'd love to hear your stories and help you figure out if you might be holding one of these rare coins. And if you're new to coin collecting or just fascinated by these kinds of finds, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell icon so you never miss another exciting discovery. Top 4, we're heading down south to the Lone Star State, because we're diving deep into a coin that's not only beautifully designed but also has shocked collectors with its potential value. Yes, we're talking about the 2004 Texas Quarter from the United States of America. Now, this isn't just any state quarter. It's a coin that's become famous in collector circles for a few rare errors and variants that have pushed its value far beyond what most people would ever expect. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what to look for and how a single coin from your pocket change could end up being worth a fortune. Stay with me, because you won't want to miss the incredible number one of these sold for. The 2004 Texas Quarter was the 28th coin released in the legendary 50-state quarters program by the U.S. Mint. Its design pays tribute to Texas's rich history and iconic identity. On the reverse side, you'll see a striking outline of the state with a large 5-pointed star, a nod to the Lone Star that defines Texas's independent spirit. A rope encircles the design, symbolizing the state's cowboy culture and strength. With 1845 inscribed at the bottom, it commemorates the year Texas officially joined the Union. It's a bold and unmistakable coin, and millions of them were minted and circulated across the country. But what makes this common coin so special? The answer lies in the rare and unusual minting errors that slipped through quality control and found their way into the hands of lucky collectors. One of the most notable and valuable errors associated with the Texas Quarter is the double die. This type of error occurs when the die used to strike the coin hits the blank planchet more than once in slightly different positions, creating a shadow or ghost-like duplication of the design elements. On the Texas Quarter, doubling is most often spotted in the star, in the letters of Texas, and sometimes along the edges of the state outline itself. It might not jump out at first glance, but when you tilt the coin under light or examine it with a magnifier, that doubling effect becomes clear. And when verified by a grading service, that kind of doubling can turn an ordinary quarter into a highly valuable collector's item. Another significant error found in the Texas 2004 quarters is the off-center strike. These coins were not properly aligned in the minting press, causing the design to appear shifted to one side. In some cases, part of the design is cut off entirely, with an empty crescent of blank metal where the image should be. The most valuable off-center coins are those that are dramatically misaligned but still display the date and mint mark. Those are the ones that collectors go crazy for. Each one is a one-of-a-kind mistake that never should have happened, but that's not all. Some extremely rare Texas quarters have been discovered with die cracks, thin raised lines on the coin's surface that occur when the die becomes worn or damaged. These cracks often run through the star or across the state's border, and while they may look like small imperfections, they are exactly what makes these coins so valuable to collectors. The more prominent and dramatic the die crack, the more interest it draws from experts and collectors alike. Now, let's talk about condition. As with any coin, condition plays a massive role in value. Coins that have been circulated and show signs of wear are still interesting, but they won't fetch top dollar. But a rare Texas quarter with one of these errors, in mint or uncirculated condition, is where things get really exciting. That's why many collectors choose to have their coins professionally graded and encapsulated by top services like PCGS or NGC. These third-party grading companies give the coin an official grade and guarantee its authenticity, which can massively increase the coin's credibility and value on the collector market. Over the past few years, several Texas state quarters with these rare features have shown up at auctions and online marketplaces. While most Texas quarters are worth their face value, error coins, especially double die, off-center, or die crack versions, have sold for hundreds, even thousands, depending on their condition and visibility of the error. Recently, a pristine example of a 2004 Texas quarter with a dramatic die crack running through the star and a near-perfect off-center strike was authenticated and sold at a high-profile private auction. The final sale price left even seasoned collectors speechless, and here's the moment you've been waiting for. That particular Texas quarter, featuring a rare combination of mint errors and nearly flawless condition, ended up being sold for an incredible $60,000. Yes, $60,000, more than most new cars, all for a 25-cent coin that could still be sitting unnoticed in someone's coin jar. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal or money, it's about mystery, rarity, and the thrill of finding a treasure in plain sight. So if you've got a few 2004 Texas quarters at home, don't overlook them. Take a close look. Check the lettering, examine the star, tilt the coin and inspect it under light. Look for anything unusual, any doubling, shifts in the design, cracks, or markings that look out of place. You might just be holding something worth far more than 25 cents. Top 5, we're going to take you straight into the heart of America's plains, where buffalo once roamed and pioneers chased dreams across open skies. We're talking about the 2006 Nebraska state quarter, a coin that might seem like just another quarter at first glance, but behind its simple appearance lies a world of rare errors, fascinating design, and hidden value. So before you toss it into your change jar or slide it into a vending machine, you may want to take a closer look, because a select few of these coins have turned into collector gold, and one specific version sold for a truly eye-opening sum. Make sure you stick around to the very end, because we'll reveal exactly how much that coin went for, and trust me, you won't believe your ears. Let's start with the design. The Nebraska 2006 quarter is part of the U.S. Mint's 50 state quarters program, and its reverse side proudly showcases one of the most iconic scenes in Western history, a covered wagon making its way across the prairie beneath the massive natural rock formation known as Chimney Rock. This landmark guided thousands of pioneers during the westward expansion of the 1800s. The image captures a rugged spirit of exploration, hard work, and American determination. But while the coin celebrates the past, a few of the coins produced in 2006 became unexpectedly valuable not because of what they show, but because of how they were made. Now here's where things get exciting. Not all Nebraska quarters are created equal. A small number of them were struck with serious minting errors, and that's what sends collectors into a frenzy. One of the most talked about and highly sought after errors in this series is the double die error. This error happens when the coin is struck twice by the same die, but slightly misaligned. The result is that parts of the design appear doubled, most noticeably in the words like Nebraska, Chimney Rock, or E pluribus unum. If you're lucky enough to spot clear doubling in these areas, especially with strong separation that can be seen without a microscope, you may be holding something incredibly rare. Another error that has shown up in a few Nebraska quarters is the off-center strike. These coins weren't properly aligned in the minting press, and as a result, the image on the coin is shifted to one side. In some dramatic examples, part of the design is completely missing. Off-center coins that still show the date and mint mark are highly collectible and are often valued much higher than their face value, depending on how far off the strike is. There have also been cases of die cracks on Nebraska quarters, tiny raised lines caused by cracks in the die that transferred to the coin during striking. These cracks can run through the wagon wheels, across the sky, or even over Chimney Rock itself. The more dramatic and visible the die crack, the more desirable the coin becomes. Even small cracks can fetch good prices if they occur in notable locations on the design. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A Nebraska quarter with one of these errors that's been sitting in someone's pocket for years won't be worth nearly as much as one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition. That's why grading your coin is so important. If you believe you found a double die or an off-center strike, it's a smart move to send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once your coin is authenticated and given an official grade, you'll be in a much stronger position if you choose to sell it or keep it as an investment. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins like these. Recently, several Nebraska quarters with verified errors have sold at auction for hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. But among them, one very special Nebraska quarter stood out. It was found to have a dramatic double die error across multiple elements of the reverse design, and it was preserved in near-perfect condition. Experts confirmed it was one of the clearest examples of its kind ever discovered, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. That specific Nebraska quarter, with its rare mint error and top-tier condition, was auctioned off for an astonishing $58,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth 25 cents face value sold for $58,000. That's enough to buy a new car, take a dream vacation, or build the coin collection of a lifetime. This is why we always say, don't overlook your change. Even modern coins can hold incredible value if they have the right errors and are found in the right condition. So go ahead, check your wallet, your old piggy bank, or that drawer full of forgotten coins. You never know what treasures you might be sitting on. And if you think you found a Nebraska 2006 quarter with something unusual, or you have questions about other coins in your collection, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you and help you explore whether your coin could be a hidden gem. Top 6, we're delving into one of the most fascinating pieces from the United States Mint's celebrated 50-state quarter series, the 2001 New York quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin in circulation, but let me tell you, some of these quarters have captivated collectors worldwide due to their rare minting errors and unique characteristics that can skyrocket their value. So, grab your magnifying glass and listen closely, because this story is packed with intrigue, rarity, and a jaw-dropping value reveal you don't want to miss. The 2001 New York quarter features a stunning depiction of the Statue of Liberty's torch on its reverse side, a symbol not only of freedom but also of the immigrant dreams that shaped this great state. Surrounding the torch are the inscriptions, New York and E Pluribus Unum, beautifully engraved and iconic to the design. While millions of these quarters were minted and released into circulation, only a handful have surfaced with special errors that make them prized possessions among numismatists. One of the standout errors associated with this coin is the double die error, where the design has been struck twice with a slight misalignment during the minting process. This causes noticeable doubling on the lettering or parts of the torch itself. For the New York quarter, collectors often focus on the words, New York, and Liberty, to identify this error. If you examine the letters under a magnifying glass and notice shadow-like doubles or thickened edges, you might be looking at a double die, a rarity that can add significant value. Another type of error that greatly enhances a coin's worth is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned inside the coining press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. Some off-center New York quarters show partial impressions of the torch or the lettering, making each coin unique and highly collectible. The more extreme the misalignment, while still maintaining key details like the date, the more valuable the coin can become. There are also rarer instances where the coin shows die cracks, raised lines or fissures in the metal caused by cracks in the die used to strike the coins. These cracks can run through the torch, letters, or along the rim, creating an unusual and sought-after feature. Die cracks may seem like imperfections, but they tell a story of the minting process and are often highly desirable to collectors. Condition remains one of the most critical factors when assessing the value of any coin. A well-preserved, uncirculated 2001 New York quarter with any of these errors can command dramatically higher prices than those worn by everyday use. That's why it's a smart idea to have suspected error coins professionally graded and authenticated by trusted services such as PCGS or NGC. A certified grade not only confirms the error but also assures buyers of the coin's quality, helping sellers get the best price. Recently, several of these error New York quarters have made headlines at auctions, fetching thousands of dollars depending on the rarity and condition of the error. One particularly extraordinary quarter, featuring a bold and unmistakable double die error combined with exceptional condition, made waves in the numismatic community when it was sold at auction. Its sale price was nothing short of astonishing, highlighting just how valuable these errors have become in the collector's market. And now, for the incredible value reveal, that rare and stunning 2001 New York quarter was sold for an unbelievable $68,000. That's right, $68,000 for a coin that many people carry unknowingly in their pockets or piggy banks. This extraordinary price serves as a powerful reminder that even modern coins can hold incredible hidden value. So, next time you come across a 2001 New York quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to examine it carefully for doubling in the letters, any off-center strikes, or unusual lines that might indicate die cracks. You could be sitting on a remarkable piece of history, and potentially a very valuable treasure. If you've ever found a New York quarter with strange characteristics or have questions about your coin collection, please share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and help you figure out if you've got a rare gem. Top 7, and last rare coin, we're diving into a truly fascinating piece from the United States Mint's America the Beautiful Quarters series, the 2009 Guam Quarter. At first glance, this quarter might seem like just another everyday coin, but hidden within its metal surface lies the potential for incredible rarity and value that can take any collector's breath away. If you're a coin lover, listen very carefully and get ready to learn everything about what makes this 2009 Guam Quarter so special, what errors to look for, and why it might just be worth more than you ever imagined. The 2009 Guam Quarter is an important tribute to the island's unique culture and history. The reverse side of the coin features the striking image of a flying prow, a traditional outrigger canoe used by the Chamorro people, sailing across the waves, with a coconut tree and the Hagatnya River in the background. This beautiful design captures the spirit of Guam's maritime heritage and natural beauty. Although millions of these quarters were minted, collectors quickly discovered that a small fraction possess minting errors or unique features that elevate their value far beyond their face value. One of the most coveted errors found on some 2009 Guam quarters is the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice during the minting process but with a slight misalignment, causing a doubling effect on the details of the coin. On the Guam quarter, this doubling often appears on the inscriptions, especially around the word Guam or the phrase Isle of Guam. With careful examination, sometimes aided by a magnifying glass, you can spot this doubling as a shadow or a slight blur around the letters. Double die errors are prized because they are unintentional and quite rare, making these coins extremely desirable to collectors who seek one-of-a-kind pieces. Another fascinating error that collectors look for is the off-center strike, which happens when the coin blank is misaligned during the striking process. Some Guam quarters show part of the design missing or shifted, such as a cut-off canoe or incomplete lettering. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. These misalignments are like nature's own signature on a coin, giving it character and uniqueness that mass-produced coins rarely have. In addition to these errors, there are also Guam quarters with die cracks, thin, raised lines caused by cracks in the mint's die. These cracks may run across the canoe, the tree, or the lettering, creating an intriguing and collectible anomaly. While die cracks might seem like minor imperfections, collectors treasure them because they tell a story about the minting process and add to the coin's individuality. To really understand the value of a 2009 Guam quarter with these features, condition is absolutely crucial. Coins that have been preserved with little to no wear and have been professionally graded and authenticated by services like PCGS or NGC can command much higher prices. Grading confirms the coin's error and condition, providing buyers and sellers confidence and boosting the coin's market value significantly. Recently, several rare Guam quarters have appeared at auctions and private sales, drawing enthusiastic bids from collectors worldwide. One particularly remarkable coin, a pristine 2009 Guam quarter with a sharp and unmistakable double-die error, recently sold for a jaw-dropping price that shocked even seasoned numismatists. This sale highlighted just how valuable and sought after these rare errors have become, making the Guam quarter not only a symbol of island heritage but also a prized treasure in the coin collecting world. Now, here comes the exciting part, the incredible price that can be commanded by one of these rare and error-filled Guam quarters. That extraordinary 2009 Guam quarter was sold for an astounding $72,000. Yes, $72,000 for a quarter that started as ordinary pocket change but transformed into a rare collector's gem worth a small fortune. So, the next time you come across a 2009 Guam quarter, don't just pass it by. Take your time to inspect the lettering for any signs of doubling, check if the design appears perfectly centered, and look for any unusual raised lines or cracks. You might just be holding a piece of numismatic history that could make your collection truly exceptional. If you have found a Guam quarter or any other coin with unusual markings, errors, or interesting features, please share your experiences and questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your discoveries and help you identify whether your coins might have hidden value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most captivating quarters, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future content. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises. Keep hunting, stay curious, and happy collecting.